the camera, and I'm like, because I was just listening at one point this morning, I was like,
Call this meeting of the Jamestown City Council to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Sheldon.
Here.
Brackman.
here,
Karuba.
here,
Reynolds.
Present.
Faulkner.
Here.
Eklund.
here,
DeVersa.
Here.
Russell.
Here.
President Jones.
Here. This time I'll ask you to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for the invocation which tonight will be delivered by the Reverend Dr. William Blair from the New Creation Assembly of God.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please pray with me. Our Father, we give thanks and praise to you for every measure of support and provision that we enjoy, that the citizens of this community enjoy peace, prosperity, and a quiet life. That's our prayer. That our leaders and civil servants who labor on our behalf receive what is due them in both resources and respect. That's our prayer also. Give us the blessing of your guidance and presence, that our city excel in every meaningful way. Cause this business session to be successful, and the various participants who have come here today find reward in being a part of such a process. We pray together and honor you. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. At this time, we'll have approval of the minutes of the June 27th voting session and public hearing. Second. Moved by Councilman Kruger, seconded by Councilman Reynolds. Move on. Do we have any messages from the mayor?
Dear council members, in July 2022, we have welcomed 2 new employees to the city of Jamestown. Jordan Anderson, Jamestown Police Department, and Carrie Golofsky, City Clerk Treasurer. I am asking that these 2 new hires be acknowledged and welcomed to the city at the July 25th, 2022 City Council meeting. Very truly yours, Edward A. Santos. Council members, in pursuance of the authority vested in me by the charter of said city, I do hereby nominate John Selstrom, 144 Newton Avenue, Jamestown, New York, 14701, to be appointed city comptroller in and for the city of Jamestown, New York, to fill the term of Brian Thompson resigned. The term for which said appointment is to be made will expire December 31st, 2023. In pursuance of the authority vested in me by the charter of said city, I do hereby nominate Todd Peterson, 63 Allendale Avenue, Jamestown, New York, 14701, to be appointed a member of the Zoning Board of Appeals in and for the city of Jamestown, New York, to fill the unexpired term of Stephanie Kamei resigned. The term for which said appointment is to be made will expire December 31st, 2023. In pursuance of the authority vested in me by the charter of said city, I do hereby nominate John I. Mancuso, 4 Ridgely Terrace, Jamestown, New York, 14701, to be appointed chairperson of the Planning Commission in and for the city of Jamestown, New York, to fill the unexpired term of Gregory Rapp resigned. The term for which said appointment is to be made will expire December 31st, 2022. In pursuance of the authority vested in me by the charter of said city, I do hereby establish an ad hoc broadband committee and hereby nominate Brendan Fagan, 543 Lakeview Avenue, Philip Zimmerman, 4 Dover Street, Daniel Swackhammer, 425 Chautauqua Avenue, William Johnston, 401 Palmer Street, all of Jamestown, New York, 14701, to be appointed as members of the broadband committee in and for the city of Jamestown, New York. The term for which said appointment is to be made will expire December 31st, 2023.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to suspend the rules and vote on the appointments? Councilwoman Brackman. Clerk, please poll the council on suspension of the rules.
Councilmember Sheldon.
Aye.
Brackman.
aye,
Karuba.
aye,
Reynolds.
Aye.
Faulkner.
Aye.
Eklund.
aye,
DeVersa.
Aye.
Russell.
Aye.
President Jones.
Aye. Do I have a motion to approve the appointments? So moved by Councilman Faulkner. Second name. You don't usually raise your hand. How do you use them? Very good. Thank you. Clerk, please poll the council on the appointments.
Councilmember Sheldon.
Aye.
Brackman.
aye,
Karuba.
aye,
Reynolds.
Aye.
Faulkner.
Aye.
Eklund. DeVersa.
Aye.
Russell.
Aye.
President Jones.
Aye. Thank you. If This time I'd like to call on the clerk to administer the oath to Mr. Selstrom. You want to come forward?
Just raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
I will support the Constitution of the United States,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
the Constitution of the New York State.
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties as comptroller,
Sorry,
and that I will faithfully
and I will faithfully
discharge the duties as comptroller
discharge the duties of comptroller
for the city of Jamestown,
for the city of Jamestown,
Chappaqua County, New York,
Chappaqua County, New York,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. That wasn't too bad. You got to practice. You're getting married too. So, you don't want to screw that up.
Now I feel like
You better practice on it. At this time, we have opportunities for persons to address the council. If you'd like to address the city council tonight, please step up to one of the mics. Please give your name and your address and limit your remarks to 5 minutes. Anyone here like to address the council?
Hello, Anthony Toda. I live at 144 Clifton Avenue in Jamestown, and if the council would allow, I'd like to give you some pictures, give some to the chief, some to the mayor, and some to the council. They're all copies of approximately 8 to 10 pictures. Mayor, the chief, and the council. Last year, I was here complaining about fireworks. That were in a specific area around 10th Street, 10th and Lafayette, Isabella, and where I believe it's called the Jackson Pitt Taylor Park is now. I got a little bit of an argument with one of the council members, one of the at-large members concerning the enforcement and the ability of the police to enforce at that time. And I just want to say that the same thing happened this year. So this is 2 years in a row under the same police chief. And the same activity you had, as you can see, unlicensed, illegal, unsanctioned fireworks being exploded in that area. Also, at approximately 10:01 a.m., I was on Lafayette Street, and I personally witnessed the police SUV stopped, speaking to a person, and there was a document on the hood of the SUV. That was around 10:01 a.m. I don't know what was happening. I saw this officer standing outside the SUV with a person, and in between them on the hood was a document of some kind. So it could have been a ticket for violating these laws, but I'm not sure. I couldn't vouch for that. After that, about 10:20 p.m., the activity continued, as you can see, repeatedly, and I don't know if there's anywhere else in the city that has this kind of activity. Some of those pictures are in front of me on Lafayette, being exploded at the park. There's several old houses there, as you can see on Lafayette. A couple of those pictures are behind me on 10th Street, which would be east of Washington. And a few pictures, you can even see people on the ground near that dangerous points of flares. And the reason that people keep doing this is because there's no enforcement by the Jamestown police. So if you are not, you commit a crime and nobody holds you accountable for it, you're going to continue to commit it. You're going to think you're above the law. And that's exactly what's happening in the city. It's been going on as far as noise for as long as I've been reporting it, for over 20 years. And if Chief Jackson cannot enforce the law, cannot protect innocent people in the city of Jamestown, he needs to resign. The mayor needs to get another police chief. We had the same issue here with Chief Snellings. I made the same complaints, And finally, Chief Snelly's resigned. He told me he would never resign when I spoke with him in February at one of the public safety meetings. Wasn't going to happen. Well, made a phone call to him. He threatened me with arrest. And about 2 weeks after I complained to just about everybody but the kitchen sink, he resigned. Now, on Maple Street, me and other people are witnessing 50 mile an hour to 60 mile an hour motorcycles screaming loud going up and down Maple Street with it's getting worse, no enforcement. You see it all over the city. You see motorcycles without proper noise equipment to soften their noise. I remember when I was a kid, that lasted about 2 weeks before they were forced to adjust their motorcycles to make them legal. Now you see it all over the city. And again, people feel that they're above the law when it comes to traffic. There's no enforcement. And I don't see it on Maple Street. I hear it at Maple Street on the arterial, and I hear it all over the city, everywhere I go. Countless violations, no lights, people driving with blue headlights, people blinding me from front and behind. And there's going to be a question of liability here if either I'm injured or I have a passenger in my car that's injured because I'm being constantly blinded. All that has to happen, even during the day, all that has to happen every night is the sun go down. And I'm having a tough time driving because of these lights that are shining, and I don't believe they're brights. They're extremely bright. They're angled towards my direction. I'm being hit with bright lights from people in parking lots.
Mr. Schroeder, that's 5 minutes is up. Thank you.
Demanding that Chief Jackson resign. Thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like to address the council tonight?
James record here. Melissa Petternetti, 346 Washington Street. I just want to come back and reiterate what I said last week or last 2 weeks ago, whatever. I had no idea Zach was going to do his presentation when I spoke when I spoke at the committee meeting, and I know you guys are going to vote on that tonight to get him started on the grant, and I say please, because the city really, really needs it. And I mean, if he can get $100,000 to do a study that comes from somewhere, I mean, it's more money than we had last week to do a study. I just sat in Purcell or 7-Eleven parking lot right before the meeting and watched about 25 cars go through the stop sign in a period of 3 minutes. I mean, we have to do something. I've been talking about school zones and safety for about 3 years now. Tom Nelson and I used to have long conversations about traffic, and he would always tell me he took it to the Department of Public Works, but I still don't feel like my voice is being heard. You know, I know that it takes time. I know things take time, but you know, we need to do something now. You know, we have at least four school zones that are unsafe. Unsafe. Because you know why? Because the speed limit is 20 miles per hour when school's in session. Do you know how many schools have had students in the classroom this summer? Almost every single school. So we can't just live in the same box that we've always been living in. You know, COVID really did some really horrible things, but COVID really did some good things. You know, COVID made us realize that we don't have to live in that same box. We don't have to live like we used to. Because do we really know how we used to live? Sometimes I think, you know. I mean, I really would like to go, and I spoke with the superintendent. I personally feel that school should be all year round. I don't know how many of you feel that way, but I work the LEAP program at Bush School, and those kids, you know, it's between 80 and 30 kids a day, you know, at like 7 different schools in the city. And people don't know that. You know, these school zones need to be really safe with blinking lights and you know, I'll say it again, I think that we need speed bumps. I know people are against them, but they slow traffic down. And the only reason I say that is because I lived in a city of Austin, Texas, and they slow people down. Because if you don't get slowed down by it, you'll lose the bottom of your car. So I really hope that you guys pass this through and start the process, because someone has to start the process. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to address the council this evening? Okay. Seeing none, we'll move on. Are there any presentations or petitions or communications? We'll now move on to the reports from our standing committees. Let's start with the Finance Committee, and the first 6 resolutions will be sponsored by Councilwoman Karuba.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a resolution authorizing payment of the regular audit.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon.
Aye.
Brackman.
Aye.
Karuba.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Faulkner.
Aye.
Eklund.
Aye.
Diversa.
Aye.
Russell.
Aye.
President Bose.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement with DNS Glass Services Incorporated for the purchase and installation of entry door systems at fire stations 3, 4, and 5 in an amount not to exceed $14,376 and no cents. And to be noted that this is funded through ARPA, and so are the next 3 resolutions.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon.
Aye.
Brackman.
Aye.
Karuba.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Faulkner.
Aye.
Eklund.
Aye.
Diversa.
Aye.
Russell.
Aye.
President Bose.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement with Alstrom Schaefer Electric Corporation for the purchase and installation of backup emergency generators at fire stations 3, 4, and 5 in an amount not to exceed $104,000 and no cents.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon.
Aye.
Brackman. Karuba.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Faulkner.
Aye.
Eklund. Diversa.
Aye.
Russell.
Aye.
President Bose.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement with ProDoc and Door Systems for the purchase and installation of overhead door systems at fire stations 1, 3, 4, and 5 in an amount not to exceed $77,735 and no cents.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon.
Aye.
Brackman. Karuba.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Faulkner.
Aye.
Eklund. Diversa.
Aye.
Russell.
Aye.
President Bose.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a resolution authorizing recruit firefighters Eric Aiken, Daniel McCarty, Matthew Bush, Adam Gulo, and Marian Soldano IV to attend the New York State Office of Fire Prevention and Control Recruit Firefighter Training Program beginning August 1st, 2022 and concluding November 11th, 2022.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon.
Aye.
Brackman. Karuba.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Faulkner.
Aye.
Eklund. Diversa.
Aye.
Russell.
Aye.
President Bose.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a resolution authorizing the mayor and Timothy Jackson, Police Chief, Director of Public Safety, to enter into a purchase agreement with Robert Green Auto and Truck Incorporated for one 2022 Dodge Durango Police Pursuit WDEE 75 in an amount not to exceed $43,539.66.
Any questions or comments?
To note that this is replacement of a patrol vehicle totaled in an accident, funded primarily through insurance with any outstanding amount paid through contingency.
Thank you. Any other questions? Comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon.
Aye.
Brackman. Karuba.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Faulkner.
Aye.
Eklund.
Aye.
Diversa.
Aye.
Russell.
Aye.
President Bose.
Aye. The next 6 resolutions will be sponsored by, 7, I guess it is, by Councilwoman Eklund.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a resolution authorizing the mayor and police chief to accept the annual Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistant Grant Award for $18,866.00 to be utilized by the Jamestown Police Department to purchase day-to-day supplies and small equipment.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon.
Aye.
Brackman. Karuba.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Faulkner.
Aye.
Eklund.
Aye.
Diversa.
Aye.
Russell.
Aye.
President Bose.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a resolution lifting the hiring freeze to fill an immediate vacancy within the Jamestown Fire Department. Position is vacant due to a retirement. One full-time firefighter.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon.
Aye.
Brackman.
Aye.
Karuba.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Faulkner.
Aye.
Eklund.
Aye.
Diversa.
Aye.
Russell.
Aye.
President Bose.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into a shared services agreement with the Jamestown Public Schools to assist the city of Jamestown in the plowing of sidewalk roads to schools within the city of Jamestown. The term of the agreement shall be from August 1st, 2022 to December 31st, 2026.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon.
Aye.
Brackman.
Aye.
Karuba.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Faulkner.
Aye.
Eklund.
Aye.
Diversa.
Aye.
Russell.
Aye.
President Bose.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement with Escabone Construction Company for concrete work, street reconstruction 2022, Chambers Street, in the amount not to exceed $84,950.00. Funding is provided through the CHIPS program.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon.
Aye.
Brackman.
Aye.
Karuba.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Faulkner.
Aye.
Eklund.
Aye.
Diversa.
Aye.
Russell.
Aye.
President Bose.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute change order number 1 from Support Enterprise Incorporated for janitorial services.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon.
Aye.
Brackman.
Aye.
Karuba.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Faulkner.
Aye.
Eklund.
Aye.
Diversa.
Aye.
Russell.
Aye.
President Bose.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a resolution authorizing Jeffrey Lehman, P.E., Director of Public Works, to sign an intermunicipal agreement with Chautauqua County for the use and access of city property for the replacement of the Hopkins Avenue Bridge over the Chautauqua River.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon.
Aye.
Brackman.
Aye.
Karuba.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Faulkner.
Aye.
Eklund.
Aye.
Diversa.
Aye.
Russell.
Aye.
President Bose.
Mr. President, I have a resolution designating $100,000 in American Rescue Plan Act Healthy Neighborhood Funds for the purpose of funding a zoning code update to be administered through the Jamestown Local Development Corporation, JLDC, by the Jamestown Urban Renewal Agency. JURA.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon.
Aye.
Brackman.
Aye.
Karuba.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Faulkner.
Aye.
Eklund.
Aye.
Diversa.
Aye.
Russell.
Aye.
President Bose.
Aye. That concludes our resolutions from finance. We'll now move on to public safety. And our first resolution will be sponsored by Councilman Russell.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a resolution appointing Sidney P. Maines to the Office of Commissioner of Deeds for a term of 2 years.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon.
Aye.
Brackman.
Aye.
Karuba.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Faulkner.
Aye.
Eklund.
Aye.
Diversa.
Aye.
Russell.
Aye.
President Bose.
Aye. Our next resolution will be sponsored by Councilman Reynolds.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have a resolution before us reappointing Teresa A. Jackson to the Office of Commissioner of Deeds for a term of 2 years.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon.
Aye.
Brackman.
Aye.
Karuba.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Faulkner.
Aye.
Eklund.
Aye.
Diversa.
Aye.
Russell.
Aye.
And President Bose.
Aye. Thank you. That concludes our pre-filed resolutions. Are there any reports from special committees? Any report of city officers? Report from council on administrative boards? Updates? We do have some items for new business. We have several resolutions. The first resolution will be sponsored by Councilman Sheldon.
Thank you, Mr. President. Whereas from 2016 to July 2022, 7 people died and 1,199 suffered injuries on City of Jamestown streets, an average of 1 death and 185 injuries per year. And whereas Vision Zero is a public health-based traffic safety strategy to reduce and eventually eliminate traffic deaths and serious injuries using a data-driven, multidisciplinary, and safe systems approach that also increases safe, health, equitable mobility for all.
And now, therefore, be it resolved that the city declares Division 0 is the citywide guiding principle for transportation planning and the design of streets and sidewalks and maintenance of the public right of ways.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon?
Aye.
Brackman? Aye. Karuba?
Aye.
Reynolds?
Aye.
Faulkner?
Aye.
Eklund?
Aye.
Diversa?
Aye.
Russell?
Aye.
And President Bose?
Aye. The next 4 resolutions for new business will be sponsored by Councilwoman Kruger.
Thank you, Mr. President. Be it resolved that the mayor be and hereby is authorized to execute an agreement with Building Innovation Group, 107 Lincoln Parkway, East Rochester, New York, 14445, for the general construction contract for the new vehicle maintenance facility, City of Jamestown, for a total bid amount of $2,499,683.00, subject to approval of the Corporation Council as to form.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon?
Aye.
Brackman?
Aye.
Karuba?
Aye.
Reynolds?
Aye.
Faulkner?
Aye.
Eklund?
Aye.
Diversa?
Aye.
Russell?
Aye.
President Bose?
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. President. Be it resolved that the mayor be and he hereby is authorized to execute an agreement with Sancio Mechanical, 321 Crescent Street, Jamestown, New York, 14701, for the plumbing contract for the new vehicle maintenance facility, City of Jamestown, for a total bid amount of $369,504.00, subject to approval of the Corporation Council as to form.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon?
Aye.
Brackman? Aye. Karuba?
Aye.
Reynolds?
Aye.
Faulkner?
Aye.
Eklund? Aye. Diversa?
Aye.
Russell?
Aye.
And President Bose?
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. President. Be it resolved that the mayor be and he hereby is authorized to execute an agreement with JMI Heating and Air, 125 West Main Street, Frewsburg, New York, 14738, for the mechanical contract for the new vehicle maintenance facility, City of Jamestown, for a total bid amount of $889,000.00, subject to approval of the Corporation Council as to form.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon?
Aye.
Brackman? Aye. Karuba?
Aye.
Reynolds?
Aye.
Faulkner?
Aye.
Eklund?
Aye.
Diversa?
Aye.
Russell?
Aye.
And President Bose?
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. President. Be it resolved that the mayor be and he hereby is authorized to execute an agreement with Alston Schaefer Electric, 46 Hopkins Avenue, Jamestown, New York, 14701, for the electrical contract for the new vehicle maintenance facility, City of Jamestown, for a total bid amount of $744,000.00, subject to approval of the Corporation Council as to form.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon?
Aye.
Brackman? Aye. Karuba?
Aye.
Reynolds?
Aye.
Faulkner?
Aye.
Eklund? Aye. Diversa?
Aye.
Russell?
Aye.
And President Bose?
Aye. The next 3 resolutions under new business will be sponsored by Councilwoman Eklund.
Thank you, Mr. President. Resolved that the City Council of Jamestown, New York is fully committed and supportive of the consolidated funding application, CFA submission by the City of Jamestown for the Phase 2 environmental assessments within a state designated BOA for $300,000, 10% or $33,333.33, of which will be required as a local match. And be it further resolved that the mayor is hereby authorized to sign any documents related to the submission of the 2022 CFA for the Phase 2 environmental assessments within the state designated BOA, and does also hereby authorize the mayor to execute all necessary documents with the New York State Department of State should the City of Jamestown be successful in securing funding through the CFA submission process.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon?
Aye.
Brackman? Aye. Karuba?
Aye.
Reynolds?
Aye.
Faulkner?
Aye.
Eklund?
Aye.
Diversa?
Aye.
Russell?
Aye.
And President Bose?
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. President. Resolution number 22, resolved that the City Council of Jamestown, New York is fully committed and supportive of the consolidated funding application submission by the City of Jamestown for the Empire State Development Corporation Grant Program for $301,332, of which the required matching amount has already been met by the American Rescue Plan funds, and be it further resolved that the mayor is hereby authorized to sign any documents related to the submission of the 2022 CFA for the Empire State Development Corporation Grant Program, and does also hereby authorize the mayor to execute all necessary documents with the Empire State Development Corporation should the city of Jamestown be successful in securing funding through the CFA submission process.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon.
Aye.
Brackman.
Aye.
Karuba.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Faulkner.
Aye.
Beckman.
Aye.
Aversa.
Aye.
Russell.
Aye.
And President Schultz.
Aye. Our last resolution under new business will be sponsored by Councilman Sheldon.
You missed
Oh,
one.
I'm sorry, I skipped one.
One more.
There's so much words there. Turn the page real quick, sorry.
Resolution 23 is resolved that the City Council of Jamestown, New York is fully committed and supportive to the consolidated funding application submission by the City of Jamestown for the New York Main Street Program for $20,000, 5%, or $1,053 and no cents of which will be required as a local match. And be it further resolved that the mayor is hereby authorized to sign any documents related to the submission of the 2022 CFA for the New York Main Street Program, and does also hereby authorize the mayor to execute all necessary documents with Housing Trust Fund Corporation should the city of Jamestown be successful in securing funding through the CFA submission process.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon.
Aye.
Brackman.
Aye.
Karuba.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Faulkner.
Aye.
Beckman.
Aye.
Aversa.
Aye.
Russell.
Aye.
And President Schultz.
Aye. Now we'll move on to resolution 24, and Councilman Sheldon.
Thank you, Mr. President. Whereas the City of Jamestown and the Jamestown Professional Firefighters Association Local 137, through negotiations and mediation, arrived at the terms of the tentative agreement, and whereas the City Council has, after much deliberation and discussion, considered all of the terms contained within the tentative agreement, now therefore be it resolved that the terms of the tentative agreement be and hereby are approved, and be it further resolved, the mayor be authorized to enter into a personnel agreement, Jamestown Professional Fire Association Local 137, for the period covering January 1st, 2021 through December 31st, 2024, subject to the review and approval of the Corporation Council as normal.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to yield time to the mayor who wanted to make a few comments on that.
Thank you, President Dulce. Appreciate that. It's like the voice of God already. Step back. So, council members, thank you for your consideration of the Jamestown firefighters contract. As you all know, after the last vote on the contract, there was a lot of negotiation, mediation, and back and forth between the administration and the Professional Firefighters Association. Given all of that, we are very pleased to be able to come to you with a tentative agreement that settles the contract from 2021 to 2024. Under the terms of the contract, as you all have read and seen and discussed, it would provide pay raises similar to our police department and other bargaining units, providing a 2.5% increase from 2021 to 2023 and a 2.75% increase in 2024. It does provide some additional funding for firefighters that also maintain their EMT certification. As you all know, we find that to be highly valuable and really needed in the calls that we make here in the city. There were also a big note as the bone of contention was staffing. And the last time we tried to address this agreement, both parties agreed to continue the staffing discussion, especially in the event that we are able to secure a second ambulance and run additional calls. We will continue to discuss how that should be best staffed going forward. If the council tonight approves this tentative agreement, I am very, very pleased to say and give a lot of credit to all of my staff and to all of you for being able to successfully have negotiated all bargaining unit contracts in the city of Jamestown since taking office back in 2020. It's been a long road ahead. As you all know, we've had many years behind. There was multiple litigations and other things that had happened and occurred during this time. But I am truly proud of all the work that my staff have done, all the work that the unions have done, and all the work you all have done to try to make sure that we as a city have taken care of all of our bargaining units and all of our employees here in the city of Jamestown. With that, I thank you all, and it's been really a wonderful collaborative process with everyone in order to try to get this settled. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments?
I would just like to make a quick comment that, about staffing, just to remind everyone that we did add multiple firefighter positions that you see on this resolution. I think there's a total of 5, that those are made possible through the ARPA funding. So we did increase staffing. It is not part of a manpower agreement, as the mayor said in this contract. And despite being from the opposite political party, I will give you kudos along with this council for doing what past administrations were unable to do by coming up with contracts of all the
Anybody?
I am requesting to recuse myself from this vote on the basis that my husband is a retired member of the firefighter union.
Can I have the clerk please poll the council on Councilwoman Eklund's recusal?
Councilmember Sheldon?
Aye.
Brackman? Karuba?
Aye.
Reynolds?
Aye.
Faulkner?
Aye.
Eklund?
Aye.
DeVersa?
Aye.
Russell?
Aye.
And President Hills.
Aye. Is there any other comments before we take the vote? If not, clerk, please poll the council on the agreement.
Councilmember Sheldon?
Aye.
Brackman? Karuba?
Aye.
Reynolds?
Aye.
Faulkner?
Aye.
DeVersa?
Aye.
Russell?
Aye.
And President Hills.
Aye. Thank you. I inadvertently skipped over unfinished business. Is there any unfinished business? Turn the page over. Is there any other new business come before the council? I just wanted to take a
Wait a
moment.
minute, I'd like to make an announcement. That the Allen Park Women's Club and the Jamestown Municipal Band meet every Wednesday from now till I think the second week in August. Please attend. The Allen Park Women's Club has sponsored many renovations to Allen Park, and they would appreciate, as well as the band, your support. We've had as many as 200 people, I believe, attending that event. And I've seen many young children as well as many senior citizens. So whatever you can do to go there and support the Allen Park Women's Club would be greatly appreciated. I know it's a great event, and people that have been there, who have been there the first time, said they really enjoyed it. They were very pleased. So I want to give a shout out to them, and also to Patrick Smeraldo for another great event. He has done a great job in bringing new activity to the city, along with promoting the Park Skunks, and really want to shout out to him for everything he's done. And again, to Public Safety for the Low Noise Fireworks. They have been a tremendous improvement over what we had before, and appreciate everything that everybody did about bringing that to fruition in the city. I think it's helped a lot of individuals who've had difficulty with fireworks. Anyway, I didn't mean to steal your thunder, but I want to make sure they know about the band concerts, because they need to be better attended as well.
Very good. I just wanted to piggyback on that and thank everybody. This past weekend, as we mentioned, it was so good to see people back out. We had Christmas in July, we had a color run, and again, Pat Smeraldo put together that in conjunction with the Tarp Skunks the night before, and fireworks. And I want to thank Councilwoman Eklund for her work on the car show at Irving Park. Just good to see that back. A good fundraiser for our World Series, Babe Ruth World Series. There was the Italian Festival at St. James, I should say. So there were a lot of different events this past weekend, and it's good to see everybody back out, getting back to somewhat normal and having a good summer, and we had great weather, and we still got a lot more months to go before Labor Day Festival coming up. So, anything else? Events or exciting news? Yeah. If not, adjourn.